Coco Gauff in the headlines last week, and for very good reason, as she and 11 other women were named as the 12 Women of the Year by Time Magazine. An incredible honor for Gauff to be a part of that.
Time Magazine just released their Women of the Year list, and Coco Gauff made the cut. She's the only athlete honored among 12 extraordinary women recognized for creating a more equal world. Gauff earned this recognition at just 19 years old. But here's what got everyone talking. Aryna Sabalenka's reaction was absolutely unhinged. The jealousy has been pouring out across social media ever since the announcement dropped. Do you think Coco Gauff deserved this honor over other tennis players, or was Sabalenka robbed? Let me know in the comments.
Good evening. Being here tonight and standing in front of all of you is an incredible honor. The women in this room are my role models, and for me to be asked to share a few words with you, that's crazy. Seriously. When I started playing tennis at the age of 6, my dad, who's here with me tonight, told me, "You can change the world with your racket," and I believed him. I believed him because the women in my life and the women in this room who showed me that a little girl with big dreams can go on to do great things. My grandmother, Yvonne, was the first Black woman to integrate the Delray Beach school system, has encouraged me to use my platform for positive change and to never underestimate the impact of my voice.
Time Magazine doesn't just hand out recognition to anyone. This isn't a participation trophy situation. The publication specifically selected 12 women they identified as extraordinary leaders working toward a more equal world. These women represent the pinnacle of achievement across multiple disciplines and sectors. They're changemakers. They're people actively reshaping society and culture. The bar for making this list is genuinely high. When Time announced their selections, they included some absolutely heavyweight names. Greta Gerwig made the list as an actress and director who's fundamentally changed how Hollywood approaches storytelling. Nobel laureate Claudia Golden is there, recognized for groundbreaking work in economic research. Singer Andra Day represents the artistic community. Climate activist Jackie Patterson speaks to the environmental movement. These aren't random people. These are individuals who've demonstrated excellence and influence in their respective fields. Then there's Coco Gauff. At 19 years old, she's the only athlete on the entire list. That's significant. Think about that for a moment. In a world with hundreds of thousands of professional athletes competing at the highest levels, Time selected exactly one athlete to be recognized as a Woman of the Year. They chose Coco Gauff. That's not a small deal. That's recognition of something special that extends far beyond tennis performance.
Tell me about your ambitions in tennis.
What do you mean?
Anything, just don't tell me.
Coco Gauff.
That I just can't trust. You told me to stop, but I keep on.
Match point.
Told me to stop, but I keep on going, keep on going. Never stop.
Get up, Coco Gauff. You've just won the US Open.
Gauff's inclusion on this list is multifaceted. Yes, she's an incredible tennis player. She won the US Open, one of the 4 Grand Slam tournaments. She's competed at the Olympics. She's established herself as one of the elite competitors in professional tennis. But the recognition from Time goes beyond her tennis achievements. Time identified something in Gauff that transcends sport, her potential as a leader and changemaker. When interviewed about the honor, Gauff's response was remarkably grounded and authentic. She spoke about not really caring about the glitz and glamour that comes with success. That's a refreshingly honest take from someone who could easily lean into celebrity status and commercial opportunities. Instead, Gauff focused on what actually drives her, collecting major trophies and making tangible differences in the world. That's the kind of perspective that resonates with Time's vision for Women of the Year. Gauff acknowledged turning 20 soon and spoke about embracing adulthood and the changes that come with it. She recognized that the world needs continuous improvement and expressed hope that she could play some part in that process. This is a teenager talking about responsibility, growth, and contribution to society. This is exactly the kind of perspective that would appeal to a prestigious publication like Time when identifying women worthy of their recognition. The timing of the announcement coincided with Gauff winning a WTA 1000 tournament in Dubai. She came back from a difficult position to beat Karolina Pliskova in 3 sets. Immediately after her victory, Gauff learned about her Time magazine recognition and reacted with genuine excitement and gratitude. Her on-court comments revealed someone who's appreciative but focused. She talked about being grateful and looking forward to attending the event in March, where she'd actually be recognized alongside the other honorees. Gauff's humility was evident when she mentioned this would be one of the rare times I get dressed up, not in this match stuff. Here's a 19-year-old who's achieved what most athletes dream about, and she's making light jokes about having to wear formal clothing. That's the kind of relatability that makes someone genuinely impressive. She's not taking herself too seriously despite the enormous accomplishments. Now let's talk about what happened when other players in tennis found out about Gauff's recognition. Aryna Sabalenka's reaction has been the subject of intense scrutiny and social media discussion. The jealousy and resentment have been impossible to miss for anyone paying attention to tennis social media in recent weeks. Sabalenka is an incredible tennis player in her own right. She's won major tournaments, she's reached the upper echelons of professional tennis. She's talented, competitive, and driven. But Sabalenka's reaction to Gauff's Time magazine honor reveals something about her character that isn't particularly flattering. Instead of celebrating a fellow athlete's accomplishment, Sabalenka appears to have taken it personally. The pattern of Sabalenka's behavior shows clear signs of jealousy that have been festering beneath the surface. This isn't her first moment of resentment toward Gauff's rising prominence in tennis and beyond. Sabalenka seems unable to compartmentalize her feelings about someone else receiving recognition that she likely feels she deserves. On social media, Sabalenka's posts have become increasingly pointed and passive-aggressive. She's started highlighting her own accomplishments in ways that feel defensive rather than celebratory. She's made subtle digs at the recognition systems that favor certain players over others. She's questioned the criteria that led to Gauff's selection. None of it comes across as genuine concern about fairness. It all reads as jealousy from someone who feels overlooked. What makes Sabalenka's reaction particularly noteworthy is that it reveals her perception of what this recognition means. Sabalenka clearly sees the Time magazine honor as something that should have gone to her. She believes her accomplishments, her competitiveness, her performance on the court should have qualified her for this recognition. The fact that Time chose Gauff instead is bothering her deeply. But here's the reality that Sabalenka might not want to acknowledge. Time wasn't selecting women based purely on tennis performance. They were recognizing women they identified as extraordinary leaders working toward a more equal world. They were looking beyond wins and losses. They were evaluating broader impact and influence. By those criteria, Gauff's selection makes complete sense. Gauff's impact extends well beyond tennis courts. She uses her platform to advocate for social justice. She speaks up on issues that matter to her. She engages with communities and causes that extend far beyond professional sports. She's thoughtful about her responsibility as a public figure with influence. These are the qualities that would appeal to Time magazine when identifying Women of the Year. Sabalenka's accomplishments on the tennis court are genuinely impressive. Nobody's disputing her talent or her competitive fire. But the question becomes whether she's using her platform in the same way Gauff is, whether she's engaging with social issues, whether she's positioning herself as a leader beyond tennis. The answer to those questions likely explains why Time selected Gauff instead of Sabalenka. The jealousy Sabalenka is displaying is also rooted in age and career trajectory. Gauff is 19 years old, still incredibly young, and Time recognizes her as a Woman of the Year. That means Gauff's influence and impact are already being felt on a global scale. That means the best is likely still ahead of her. For Sabalenka, who's been working her entire career to achieve recognition and success, watching a teenager receive recognition from Time probably stings. Sabalenka's social media activity has included posting about her own major tournament wins and accomplishments. She's been tagging major brands and highlighting her commercial relationships in ways that feel forced. She's making sure people know about her endorsements and sponsorships. It's transparent compensation for the recognition she didn't receive from Time. It's an attempt to remind people that she matters, that she's accomplished, that she deserves recognition. The comments on Sabalenka's recent posts show her followers picking up on the jealousy. People are noticing that her tone has shifted. Her usual confidence comes across as defensive now. Her accomplishments are being presented as rebuttals to Gauff's recognition rather than celebrations of her own achievements. That's the problem with jealousy. It poisons everything it touches, including the accomplishments you should be proud of. What's particularly interesting is that Sabalenka could have responded to Gauff's Time magazine honor with grace and class. She could have congratulated Gauff publicly. She could have acknowledged that recognition from major publications can come in different forms, and that there's enough space for multiple players to be celebrated. Instead, she chose to express resentment and jealousy. That choice says something about her character and perspective. The tennis community has noticed Sabalenka's behavior. Other players have commented privately about how Sabalenka handles situations where other players receive recognition or accolades. The pattern is consistent. Sabalenka struggles when the spotlight shifts away from her. She struggles when other players achieve accomplishments she also wants for herself. That's a weakness that could potentially impact her long-term success and how she's perceived by peers and media. For Gauff, this experience is probably validating. She's receiving recognition not just for her tennis talent, but for her broader impact as a leader and change maker. She's being seen and appreciated for who she is beyond the sport. That recognition at 19 years old is remarkable and speaks to the trajectory she's on. The fact that it's generating jealousy from other players probably only reinforces that Gauff is doing something special. The Time magazine recognition positions Gauff at a different level than most tennis players her age. She's no longer just known as a talented athlete. She's now recognized by one of the world's most prestigious publications as a woman worthy of being in conversation with Nobel laureates. Not caring about the glitz and glamour, but focusing on collecting major trophies reveals her priorities clearly. She's not chasing fame for its own sake. She's focused on achievement, on winning, on making tangible differences. That perspective is what probably appealed to Time's editors. They recognize someone who's driven by substance rather than celebrity status. The broader conversation this situation is generating within tennis is interesting. It's raising questions about what gets recognized and valued in professional sports. It's asking whether athletic achievement is the only measure of a player's worth or whether other factors should be considered. It's questioning whether certain players receive more media attention and recognition than they deserve, while others remain underappreciated. Sabalenka could take this moment as an opportunity for self-reflection. She could ask herself what changes she might need to make to align her public image and platform usage with the kind of leadership and advocacy that organizations like Time value. She could use this as motivation to expand her impact beyond tennis. Or she could continue down the path of jealousy and resentment, which won't help her case or her reputation. The reality is that Time's recognition of Gauff is legitimate and well-deserved, based on their stated criteria. Gauff is an extraordinary leader working toward a more equal world. She's using her platform responsibly. She's engaging with important social issues. She's positioning herself as someone who cares about more than just winning tennis matches. That's what got her on the list. Sabalenka's jealousy, while understandable from a competitive perspective, is misguided. Instead of resenting Gauff's recognition, Sabalenka could be inspired by it. She could recognize that there are opportunities to build a legacy that extends beyond tennis accomplishments. She could use her platform to make tangible differences in the world. She could position herself as a leader and advocate for causes she cares about. That's what would actually get her similar recognition. But for now, Sabalenka's social media presence reveals someone who's struggling with jealousy. Her posts are transparent attempts to remind everyone that she matters, that she's accomplished, that she deserves recognition. The desperation underlying those posts is palpable, and that desperation probably bothers her more than Gauff's Time magazine recognition ever could. The contrast between how Gauff and Sabalenka handled this situation is stark. Gauff was gracious, grateful, and focused on the broader implications of being recognized as a Woman of the Year. Sabalenka's been jealous, resentful, and focused on reminding people of her own accomplishments. One approach builds character and respect, the other erodes both. Aryna Sabalenka's jealousy over Coco Gauff's Time magazine honor proves something important. Recognition from major publications goes beyond tennis stats and tournament wins. It's about impact, leadership, and vision. Gauff earned that spot because she's more than just a player. Sabalenka's resentment only highlights what she's missing. What do you think Sabalenka needs to do to earn similar recognition? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like and subscribe for more on this story.